Poverty is a complex issue that affects millions of people around the world. While there is no one single cause of poverty, it is generally the result of a combination of factors that can include economic, social, political, and cultural factors. Here are some of the key reasons why people are poor. 1. Lack of access to education and skills training. Education and skills training are critical in today's economy, and those without access to these resources are at a disadvantage in terms of earning a decent living. In many developing countries, children do not have access to quality education, which limits their opportunities for future employment and economic mobility. For example, in sub-Saharan Africa, only 8% of the population has a college education, which limits their ability to compete in the global economy. In addition, many people in poverty-stricken areas lack the necessary skills to secure employment, which perpetuates a cycle of poverty. 2. Limited access to financial resources. Without access to financial resources, it is difficult for people to start businesses, invest in their education, or purchase necessary goods and services. For many people living in poverty, their lack of access to financial resources is due to a lack of banking infrastructure, high interest rates, or other systemic barriers. For example, in many rural areas of developing countries, there are few banks, which makes it difficult for people to save money, secure loans, or invest in their businesses. As a result, they may be forced to rely on informal lending systems, which can come with high interest rates and predatory lending practices. 3. Structural inequality and discrimination. Structural inequality and discrimination play a significant role in perpetuating poverty. This can take many forms, including racial and gender-based discrimination, unequal access to healthcare and education, and unequal access to employment opportunities. For example, in the United States, people of color are disproportionately affected by poverty due to systemic racism and discrimination. They may face barriers to employment, unequal pay, and limited access to quality healthcare and education, which can perpetuate poverty. 4. Environmental factors. Environmental factors, such as natural disasters, climate change, and environmental degradation, can also contribute to poverty. These factors can lead to displacement, loss of livelihoods, and reduced access to basic necessities, such as food and clean water. For example, in many developing countries, droughts and other natural disasters can devastate crops and livestock, which can lead to food insecurity and poverty. Similarly, climate change can exacerbate these problems by making extreme weather events more common and severe. 5. Political instability and conflict. Political instability and conflict can also contribute to poverty by disrupting economic activity, destroying infrastructure, and displacing people from their homes. This can create a cycle of poverty that is difficult to break without significant investment and support. For example, in many countries affected by conflict, such as Syria and Yemen, the economy has been devastated, infrastructure has been destroyed, and people have been displaced from their homes. This has led to a humanitarian crisis and widespread poverty. In conclusion, poverty is a multifaceted issue that has many causes, and addressing it requires a comprehensive approach that takes into account the many factors that contribute to poverty. By investing in education, financial resources, addressing structural inequality, mitigating environmental factors, and promoting stability and conflict resolution, we can work towards reducing poverty and improving the lives of millions of people around the world.